call to order Town of Fontana Dam Town Council meeting March 16th, 2022. Call to order 5:33. Present John Hodgson, got Brandon Jones, Lacey B. Ellery Rogers, Rob Hardy, and Tiffany Duke. And as always, Kevin from the paper is here as well. Let's see. There's no adjustments or corrections to the agenda. Entertaining motions there.
I entertain a motion to approve the agenda from last month.
All right, thanks for the motion to approve the agenda as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, minutes from February. He wasn't here, so I don't know that I can say if they were right or wrong. So if there's no changes that need to be made there, entertaining motions.
Make a motion that we approve the February and closed session minutes.
Thanks, John, for the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Is your site closed session on it too?
Yeah. And it also says January.
I gave you the wrong one then.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't have a closed session last time.
No, we didn't. That's why I alerted to that.
Oh.
I gave you the wrong agenda.
All right.
Hold on. I thought I got rid of all of them. I printed out by mistake last month's agenda.
That's all good.
That's out of the way.
I'm sure the viewers at home will forgive you.
We're live, pal. No take backs, no take twos or nothing. You can take a moment to fill the gap here, Tiff. You can promote your massage business if you'd like on Facebook Live.
Sidebar.
Massage at Tiffany's is open 7 days a week. Please call 828-735-4667.
What a salesman.
Or visit my website.
What a salesman. She was ready with that.
Right?
Yes,
MassageByTiffany's.com, yep.
And my office is right over here in the town hall building. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'll be there. First I gotta figure out Venmo, but
Yeah.
because I had an account in the past, and like 4 years ago, that has an old number, and I can't get into it.
Like an old checking number?
No, old phone number.
Oh, a phone number, okay.
So I
you gotta
emailed
do
them. I should be able to get it up. But if not, I'll just go to the ATM. So.
that. I need to get some brochures down at the marina too.
Have you seen Maggie floating around out there this week? Yeah. She said she was, I guess, going to be in at some point. She was asking about trying to get together with Tiff.
Oh, good.
She wants and if she comes, because she's usually working.
Yeah.
All right, so John
Yep,
approved
approved,
the
yeah.
February minutes, and we passed them all in favor. So public comment there, Kevin, Mr. Hensley, anything there?
Yes, I actually do have a question this month. We've had an ad in the paper, and I haven't got to talk to you guys about it. There's apparently new ownership being sought for Fontana. Anything
Well, I mean,
you guys can
leaseholder,
discuss?
that's always
Right, well,
been-
that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
leaseholders, yeah.
That's always been
Yeah, there was a request for,
proposals.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So is BCS just getting out of it? Was that just a temporary thing? I thought that was a more solid thing than.
No, they
Just them running it
actually,
temporarily.
took it over on behalf of TVA, and it's always been the intent to try to get somebody in here for a long time.
Oh, okay.
They
Yeah,
want
this will
somebody
be-
that's in the hospitality business versus a construction business, so, but because they were familiar with BCS.
Right.
and-
so they did one of those late last summer into early fall, I guess. Right, I guess it was August.
Mhm.
And I guess there was nothing that came from that particular request that was viable, I suppose. So this is the second go round.
Did they have any luck this
And
time?
I don't think it's
There's been a couple of people, including I think Baker's has stated that they would be willing, but it's still they still, I think for like 5 years or something, you know, was their terms at that time. So I don't know,
Okay.
you know, if that's a serious bid. But there is some other investors that are interested. I don't know how, I think the request for proposals, May 1st, I think, was the deadline on it.
Sounds right,
So,
yeah.
you know, we're still quite a ways out from knowing anything. And
Okay.
So the ad itself, I wouldn't say is indicative of anything. It'll be the results from that request.
Okay.
We'll see if there's any indicators there.
Very good. All right, that's all I got. Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, financial report there, Zoe.
Okay, we currently have in our general fund $184,684.43. We have in our utility fund $108,540.63. The reason that that is so high is because Lacey just deposited a check for us today that will be going to Portland. Was it Portland?
Portland
Yeah, the
Is that
utilities
the
for
last
it.
payment?
Yeah.
Yeah, until, I think they still got some paving that they're gonna do later on when paving companies start. I don't know where that's going with that, but he wrote me an email the other day stating that the company that they plan on using will be in operation like towards the end of April, so, you know, they don't really pave, I guess, in the winter, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that 55,000, I know what it was. Yeah, of that 108 will be going back towards him, so it's just passing through. But overall, you know, we're in good financial shape, and I'm pretty proud of our general fund amount and everything. You know, we've been very frugal, and we've come a long ways from where we were this time last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've got to kind of chart a course. I think that's going to be the next thing with, you know, some projects at least somewhat put to bed. Now we can start turning our focus to other things. So
Right.
we'll talk about that, I guess, in the next thing here, the utility report.
Yeah. So some of the things the wastewater plant needs that I've been talking with Dennis about. So, you know, we've had that guy, that Lee English that we've hired to come in here and jet watch our lines down 28. And we paid him a huge amount of money in that month or so that, you know, they came over multiple times and we didn't really get a whole lot out of it. And a lot of that was, you know, and in addition to that, it was a lot of times Jason and Dennis that was doing the actual work, you know, and he was just kind of standing there. So Dennis got online and looked, and we can rent a jetter. We need a trailer jetter, and we can rent it for $5,500 for a month because we got to get some stuff done up there in the village. We've got to.
So that was going to be my question.
Yes,
I mean,
this is
is there no? Has there been any conversation with anyone, TVA, Bakers, whatever, that about is there anything else that's going to be try to be done?
I don't think until
this
they
phase.
determine if where the request for proposals are going to go. You know, they kind of always pull back with that, so I don't believe that they're going to do a whole lot more. But this will give us, especially around the grill, you know, which is going to be opening soon, and we know that it needs work. So that was one of the main things. They have, let's see, I think there's a $250 drop off and a $250 pickup charge as well. So we figured it was going to be about $6,500 for the month to rent this jetter, but that's for a whole month. Now we paid out probably about $3,000 to Lee to come out here like 4 times, and we still had to get Portland Utilities come in and clean it up. You know, we couldn't get it out with his. So in addition to that, though, whether we do that or not, one of the things that he would like to have on hand, because we need an inspection camera to be able to see into our lines. Mm-hmm. So this one here is a 300-foot pipe inspection camera that you put down into the sewer lines. It walks through it. It shows you where any problems and stuff out. And it's $635.99 is what it is. And it, you know, broadcasts on this little screen so you can see everything, just like a regular.
So would that be adequate?
Yeah, it would be. It would
Dennis
be.
feels like that would be adequate.
Yeah, He does. I've asked him, and I asked him if we needed something bigger, if we needed something with longer hose or any of that. He said there was no place where we would need anything over 300 feet because that's got a 300-foot hose with it. And it just walks through there. It's basically just like the same thing that rural water has bought up here.
Okay.
So he feels like that would definitely be more than adequate. And then the other thing was a smoker, the smoke lines. And so this is a smoke blower. This is a little bit more expensive. It's $19.50. I don't know. It quickly identifies leaks in sewer lines. It's got a superjet smoke generator, 4100 CFM Briggs and Stratton engine. I don't know how they work.
What is it, 1950?
Yeah, $1,950. Yeah, for that.
And he thinks that would be adequate for.
Yeah, he thinks that would be more than adequate for our needs here.
So.
You need one or the other, or
No,
both?
it's
No, it would be both, because one is like to examine the lines and the other is to just smoke. If you smoke, you see it coming out from various places, so then you know where issues are at. But I would almost think if there was only going to look at one, the camera would be more important than the smoker.
Right. And so, who is it? Troy?
Yeah.
What's his schedule looking like? When are we thinking?
He is coming back up again. When is he coming up? I can't remember.
Soon?
Yeah, it's sometime here in the next. Well, no, maybe because he came back up and he finished our permit for our wastewater permit. So I'm not sure.
Does he have a smoker?
No. Oh, yes, he did. It's not his. It's a rural water.
So I
he did.
guess my point is, I think it'd be a good idea to run this by Troy.
Okay.
Make sure, I don't want to buy something that's gonna,
Not be.
we should have spent a little bit more money and gotten something a little bit more robust.
All right. Well, I can get in touch with him though tomorrow.
Sure.
You know, or something, and
I want to
ask
get his
him.
opinion on, the jetter truck. A couple questions about that. You said it's a trailer deal, right?
Right.
We'll be able to move that around with the
Right.
the 350 truck,
Yes. Yes.
but won't be able to use it for garbage at that point.
Right.
So that kind of segues with, we're going to have the 350 free to be able to
do that.
to do some
Yeah.
utility work. So that'll segue into the other conversation here shortly with the garbage truck.
Right.
And what we've got, what our thoughts are there. But as far as the camera and this, I would check with Troy and ask him if he thinks these are going to be adequate, or if there's anything else he would suggest that might be in a similar or slightly higher price range that we could get.
Or that would be
for the buck
better
out of.
for us. And I mean,
Sound
and
reasonable to you guys?
the good thing is, of course, is that having the camera, we will have that then. And this is not typically something that we would charge back to the resort, because usually I try to keep tools and stuff in our that we purchase in our us. It's not a reimbursement, because I don't want not that I don't care if the resort uses it, but it would be our equipment. It wouldn't be
And we'd be
the
purchasing
resort's.
out of the
Yeah.
utility fund.
Yes, and so we would be paying for that, and we wouldn't be getting reimbursed for it.
Yeah, and then we have it when we need it too.
Right.
We gotta have some guy come in at his
Yeah.
schedule.
Well, and the idea eventually is if we can get another truck for the garbage, then we've got another extra truck that we can utilize
Right.
on a ad hoc basis. And then we've also talked about the possibility of like a little gator or something like that. So that would allow you, if you're gonna go cruising around investigating things, and
Right.
you've got something you can haul things around in. So kind of the utility side can use it, garbage side can use it. It's multifaceted. So, but I would just say check with Troy and make sure those are going to be good purchases for us.
Okay.
Because he
And if
knows
it is, if he
as
says,
well
"Oh yeah,
as-
those are great," do you want me to follow through on them? You guys up for me getting them? Or if he says, "Wait, let me look and check and see if I can find you something better," then I'll wait. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Is it urgent?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what our septic system looks like. Yeah.
Just as soon as we
So
can get it.
I guess the next question would be,
We get in there and we start doing work. We need to then see the results of
I would say
everything's
that
out.
the camera probably is going to be able to tell us where we're going to potentially have blockages and where we're going to need to focus that jetter truck. So we're probably going to do a little recon before we actually get the jetter truck. I guess, unless,
Yeah.
does the jetter truck have a camera set up on it as well?
I don't know, it's just a trailer jetter, I don't know that much about it.
Now,
He
some
just-
of them are
yeah.
combo deals, and I didn't know if that, if there was a camera included in that or not.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if I don't know if Elise even had a camera on it. I think it was just a, you know, and what Dennis's hopes are eventually is that we get like something like what the resort has as far as pressure washer, like that Ramey carries around with him. You know,
Yeah.
that we could use that, something like that. So
Yeah.
you know, just have jetter hose.
Like a light duty.
yeah, but it would have a jetter hose attached to it instead of
So it'd just be a trailer.
yeah.
I guess the other aspect, in addition to trying to manage the truck situation and making sure we're not just sitting there, you know, with a jetter that we can't move around because we don't have a vehicle,
All right.
is the people sort of equation as well, you know, as far as where we're at with Carrie. And, you know, as far as when she's on full time and that kind of we can kind of free Dennis up to focus
Right.
on wastewater stuff much more significantly. And hopefully that would be before we really ramp up.
Yeah,
with
and I think it will be, but we
pool
can
and
talk,
all
we'll
of
talk about that more in closed session with that.
Okay.
But, that should be pretty much a given there.
Okay.
The only thing is, getting through this wedding, you know, once the wedding, this big wedding is over, then we will calm back down for a little while before the season actually really kicks in.
Okay. So
So, you know.
we explore these,
Okay.
and as long as Troy gives the green light, I think it's good to have some things, troubleshooting tools on hand.
I mean, if nothing else, like I said, this camera I think is of more importance even than the smoker. The
Right.
smoker will be more important later on, you know, but if at the very least getting the camera and to be able to see into those lines.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And I remember even when Jason was here, he actually went on the whatever that auction site was,
Mhm.
and there was a gator. With,
Yeah.
Remember seeing
Yeah.
it? A gator with a camera set up already
Yeah,
on it, and it was going for it was a few $1,000s.
right.
That was pretty interesting. So,
Yeah, so that could be an option too.
so I don't know that I want to rush into this because they are significant purchases, but
Right.
we definitely need to put them on our radar.
Just give his opinion and then.
Yeah.
Give his opinion and we'll kind of go from there. If we have to put it out,
600.
I don't know that I want to say let's approve it right now, or, you know, we can approve up to a certain amount, or I don't know how we want to do that. Any suggestions?
Just see what he says and then go from there.
Yeah, if we
Well,
have
but
to,
that, no, but we're waiting another month.
we would be
then.
able to take
We have
action.
to vote on it all the way.
Well, I mean, just whether, like I said, if he says, yeah, that's perfect for what you guys need, then I could go ahead and order it.
Yeah.
Or whether he, you know, that would be
suggests
if he
something that's
approves
maybe
or.
slightly more expensive, say $1,000.
The camera's looking for what you're trying to jet, right? The
It just goes in a
smoker-
line that shows you where your problems are.
Smoker is
Looking
just
for-
gonna show you broken pipe. Are
Right.
you gonna fix the broken pipe when you find it, or are you?
Well, I mean, yes,
I think
definitely, we
the
have
thinking
to.
is depending on where it would, if it's on a main part of the system that you have to fix, then it would get
If it's
addressed.
out here
If
where
it's
there's
on
no
something like that,
housing
we
and
might
stuff.
get, you know,
Yeah, we're gonna seal it
Block
because
it
we've
off.
got foam and we've already got foam and, what do you call it?
Caps. you said.
Caps, yes, that we can put on these out here, you know, where there is no housing anymore. So,
So I think the point of the smoker is if you got broken pipes, that's a possible area where you've got debris coming in like rocks and whatnot, and then
So they-
causing these blockage materials to get into the line. So
because we have some around the grove, we got big rocks. I mean, I don't know where they come
Get
from.
the guy's opinion that knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
If we have the money, then might as well.
But I think what
That's
she's
what we
saying
think
is, if Troy says yes, then and we have to approve it. So I guess it's one of those deals where we could approve a camera, say, you know, not to exceed $1,000 or something like that.
Mhm.
You know, assuming he either comes back with this or comes back with a slightly more expensive version.
Right,
Obviously, I don't know that we want to spend $5,000 for a camera setup,
no.
but I don't want to spend $700.
I don't think though that he would be like, I mean, Troy's pretty frugal, you know, I don't think he would be like, because he knows our money situation and how everything works here, you know, so I don't think he'd be like that. If
He
he
may
feels
know
like
about-
that's adequate,
And
and
they know, I
we
mean,
do it.
he may, and when we start talking to him about us buying equipment, he may know of some
Yeah,
places
he
where
may.
we might be able to purchase some used equipment.
Maybe, he
So-
very well could.
He's a resource, and I say let's tap that resource before we pull
Yeah.
the trigger.
So do we just wanna wait then for me to, talk with him, and then, like I said though, if we wait till next month,
That's gonna
then,
be another month.
where, that's another month, and then we're gonna be more into season, and there's gonna be more people here.
Let's just pre-approve it for 1,000 or whatever. Good
I'd be
range
cool
would
to
be.
pre-approve it for 1,000 if everybody.
Brandon,
else
how do
is-
you feel about that?
As long as you don't fix it when you buy the stuff, I'm all about it.
Well, see, the thing of it is, when we're fully staffed down at the water plant,
The lady here so that he can start.
yes,
doing
when
that.
we're fully staffed down there, then we're gonna
When
be,
does that happen?
well, like, we'll be talking about that in closed session, because she hasn't really, gotten all of her ducks finalized yet.
But if he isn't free to do it when we buy it, then it sits there for a month anyways.
It's not gonna be a month, I promise you that. And like I said, we'll talk about that, and I can reassure those, things, but, you know, he will end up doing, you know, at least 3 days entirely at the wastewater plant, so he will have plenty of time to get in and get some of this stuff done. But if you wanna wait, I mean, certainly,
Go for it.
so what do you think? Up to $1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's anything more than 1,000, I think we need to have a further discussion on it.
Sure, that works.
So we can, see. Jetter, let's see, camera.
That, and then the equipment rental for the jetter and stuff, I guess, I mean, he could be up here. The problem is like you said, we're gonna fix it. So if we get in there and we see this, we got to have something to move it, you know? I mean, it's not gonna do no good to be able to locate it and then not be able to get anything in there to move it out of the way. Because that's what a jetter does, is it
Oh, yeah,
helps move
sure.
that.
But I think we need to know what the problem is before we anticipate.
Well, but remember, we have video already of some of the issues that's
So we
going
know
on.
we've already got it.
Yeah, we know we've got issues there.
Okay.
So you
Well,
can come up with like an agenda where they can start work with.
so it sounds to me like we may need to table this for the moment, and we'll continue our discussion on other aspects. Then we'll go into closed session, and then, because it sounds to me like some of this action may be dependent on what we discuss in closed session.
Some of it will be, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Does that
right.
sound like I think that's the way to approach this.
Okay.
If there's some dependencies there.
There is.
Okay. All right, so we had those wastewater things, and we're under consideration on those at the moment. The one set hut?
So at the last meeting, you know, we were talking about storage buildings and stuff and how we needed one. And Brandon had mentioned that we should look at some of those, that maybe they were cheaper because they're metal instead of wood, because we all know how much wood is. So.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking metal all along.
So I looked at some stuff, and you can see the different kinds of structures that we have there. And then here is some pricing, and you can just take those around if you want to. I know that David, and here's some more about the style of it, had said that, where have I got that sheet of paper? I don't know. He needed 12.5 feet wide, I think it is, by 7 feet high, to be able to drive the truck in, you know, like a
Single
normal
bay?
canal. Yeah. So, but now I also have looked at some regular buildings, and you know, some of their pricing wasn't all that bad either. So I don't know.
If they were 12 feet wide.
Yeah, they were just 12 feet, and we need, I think, well, the ones that I looked at were.
My thought all along was a double bay, so we could have one side.
Well, what we need to do is we need to measure back here to see exactly how much room we have, because it's hard to know what I need to get until I know how much room we got to work with back there. We know what he needs to put the truck in there, but, you know, that doesn't.
I wanted
really,
one side to be able to have a store supplies, store
Right.
snowplow, salts, any of that stuff. You know,
patching.
a minimum of a double bay, and with some depth would be nice too.
Right. So
we can lay out, we can kind of look at the pricing. I mean, there's some different styles. I was kind of thinking one of these metal buildings myself.
They seem to be, they run from like $3,000 to $5,000, $6,000,
With a
depending on the
door
size.
on them?
Well, the thing about the huts though is that you gotta put the doors on them. You can pick your style of doors to go in there. And most of these you put together yourself.
Double, like one here, one there, like something.
Or maybe
like
something a
that.
little closer together.
With this room, the doors, the main door's gotta be wide enough, like a garage door, it's gotta be wide enough for him to drive the
Or
truck into.
it could be a double wide door,
That
that-
opens up.
you know, but I was just thinking the width wise, you know, you're gonna need storage for one piece of equipment in there and then some other incidentals.
Yeah, we have like a blower and, you know,
And my
gas
thinking
cans
was
and-
back in the back would, and I've kind of tentatively got it approved with Meredith. I think once we come up with an actual, we're looking at this dimension, we're looking at putting it here, we'd probably meet with her and get the double check okay with
And then
her.
maintenance would set it up.
I don't know.
No, I'm
what
not,
we
it
do.
probably wouldn't be main, well, I mean, it might help, he could probably get somebody to help him, but it'd probably be, if it's a hut like that, it would probably be us, well, not us, but
It's a big
them.
project.
Well, they say it's pretty, you know, it's all the same size
It's a lot.
bolts and, everything, it's pretty
I might be
easy,
able
but.
to. I might be able to pull the guy that works for us, Robert, over at the church.
Oh,
By
yeah.
the time we were
Okay.
going to pull the trigger, we might be able to bring him in
Yeah.
on a contract basis and
Okay.
get him to kind of.
Yeah.
He's pretty handy.
Alright.
But it is still, I mean, I think, you know, we're looking at probably $5,000 to get what we need.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
But that's a drop in the hat, man. That's a
I
great
would-
price.
And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's gonna include the doors, so the doors is
Yeah.
probably gonna be more, you know, we might,
Yeah.
you know, to round it out, say 5,500 or something, so, just so that you're aware.
I would probably think you're probably closer to 10. if you-
12,000 at least.
And I don't know if it'll be that
We're
much.
doing 2 bays, it's not gonna be $5,000.
Yeah, with the pricing. That,
Well, but I don't know if we got room back there for 2 bays.
we'll do some measurements. We'll kind of get an idea for what we can get in there fairly comfortably. If we have to go deeper rather than wider, that might be an
You get
option.
that big truck out of there, you know?
And getting that truck out of there would be nice.
But the
Probably
problem
doesn't
is that she really plans on putting people back there.
She does.
Well, you can't put it there if you want to put people there.
No,
That's where
well,
they park.
no,
Well,
no.
they can park all over, you know,
Where
we're
I'm
gonna
talking-
take off all the parking.
Where I'm talking.
Park over there.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, where I'm talking about is all the way, like where the
The
truck is,
basketball court?
on the other side of the truck.
Yeah.
There's 2 parking spaces
Yeah.
there. So my thought was if we want to move things back there, then we don't take up any of those parking spots except for kind of right in that back corner.
Yeah.
And then we kind of can put things along that edge. We leave all those parking spots available.
Okay.
TVA's gonna let you put up a building that's not attached to another.
That's a
From
good
what I understand
question.
on any TVA property, you cannot build a new building that has to be like attached to a building that's already there.
It's technically a temporary building though.
Yeah, it could be.
It can be disassembled and removed.
You better talk to them,
Yeah.
because we couldn't do it up there at the marina unless it was hooked to the bath shack.
Well, and if I have to hook it to it, you know, we can always just
Yeah,
hang a piece of paneling over them. Oh, it's hooked up. It's attached.
It's touching the other building.
Yes, that's a
Hopefully
good
they don't
point.
Yeah.
Make it like you have to have like a study, an environmental study.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about that.
Soil samples and everything for a
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, yeah.
It's NEPA is what they wanna know, but all this has already had a NEPA, that's why it's already here, you don't have to redo that.
The thinking was, we had talked about putting it in this little alcove right here, but that was gonna require gravel and, you know, now that if you already have asphalt back there and a hard surface,
It would take more than just gravel because it really, in order for that plow was so hard to get on and off, you got to have level ground to do it. If there's any give to it, any at all, it's very hard for it to come off.
And the thought is we wanna get some of the stuff out of the back there. He's got, you know, blowers and, you know, gas powered stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just not.
Having gas inside is not that
No.
nice.
Yeah,
And then, you know, we've got things kind of scattered out
lawnmowers
here
and
and we want to
shovels and
consolidate.
everything, you know, and there's, not to mention getting the garbage cans up and, you know, being able to have all those away and
So
just make everything
we'll
look
pursue
nicer.
specifics on the building.
Yeah,
and
you give me a
hopefully-
size
hopefully
and
at
then
the
I
next-
can talk with TVA.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully at the next meeting, we can have some specifics that we can approve and look at spending some money on that. That would come, we don't quite, I'm assuming that probably come out of general fund. I don't think that could come out of utility funds solely.
It might be,
I don't know, we'd have to look at.
yeah, I know Powellville will not, no money from Powellville goes to storage buildings.
Right.
So, you know, and eventually especially if we get like some kind of, ATV or something, we'd need that sort of.
Maybe after the meeting, we can walk out there.
Yeah.
Have you
Just look at the
have you
space.
seen those RXORs? They're diesel, they look like a mule, but they're diesel, they have them at boat shows.
Yeah.
Those are great if you're looking at an ATV or
How
something.
much money are we looking at?
I think base was like 18 grand, it pulls 4,000 pounds, it has no depth issues, nothing like that, it's just a straight yard truck. It ain't heavy stuff around, it's a little turbo diesel. I want one so bad. If it would pull a boat up my boat, I'd sell the truck and buy it. That's how far, I almost bought one a couple months ago.
Just use it to drag stuff around there at the yard?
What's that look like?
I drive it into town, bro.
Oh, okay, you can tag them?
Oh, yeah.
I can just see you did that. I can just see you did that.
RXOR, they are cool. They sell them in Tennessee.
Oh, okay, it's like a little tiny
It
Jeep.
looks like a Willis, they're built off of Willis's, but they look like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That does look like a 3/4 size Jeep or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a baby Willis.
Cool, cool. All right, so we'll do some more research on that and see if we can hammer out some specifics and start asking more questions. But I'd like, that'd be on the radar, that'd be nice to implement this year.
Yeah.
And if we could get that, that would just, I think that would, it would give us a place to centrally locate all of our stuff. And I've been talking about trying to get a lot of this stuff that's out here pushed back out there and kind of, you know, create more of a park-like
Looks
sort of
like
clean
they have
atmosphere.
a firewood sale.
Yeah.
Got what?
It's been there for a while.
Kevin's been getting some wood from somewhere. I see him driving around with logs in the back of his
He's got a
truck.
log splitter.
Who?
in there.
Kevin works down the marina.
He's got a log splitter with him. today.
So, moving on to the garbage truck.
Okay, so I found some pricing on some different trucks. Now, we wanted an 8-foot bed, you wanted 4-wheel drive, we need a single cab and an automatic. I'm not thinking we're gonna get like an EcoBoost engine because everything I'm seeing does not have an EcoBoost. So, an F-150 does, but and that's the only one that has a big enough, no, Ranger is the only one that has an 8-foot bed as well. So the next biggest one is 6.5. Unless and I looked at Silverados too. Now they don't say like, this one has 6.5 foot bed. This says 140 feet or inches, I guess. So 147, 157. I don't know if that means, what that means. You know more about computing that stuff down.
I'm
So.
not sure if that's wheelbase.
I'm thinking,
or,
yeah, probably the whole length of the truck. Do you think?
One.
So F-250 has an 8-foot bed,
Yeah.
but there we're looking down at gas. I mean, and with gas prices the way they're going, whew, I don't know.
Versus
Okay, the pricing isn't all that much different. Like, okay, so the lowest one here, this is an F-150. It is a 4x2, so it's not a 4-wheel drive, but still, 3.3 liter V6, 10-speed automatic, 6.5 foot bed, $21,886. It's a 2022. Okay, an F-250 regular cab, 4x2, 6-speed auto, 8-foot bed, $25,500. So what, $4,000? Well, not a little over $3,000 increase there.
Well, and here's that.
Now we do have the 4x4 as well, but it's 25. It's basically the same price as the F-250 4x2, 25,087.
I got you. And is that? Let's see.
Then the Silverado, depending on what these inches mean here, we can get a 4-wheel drive there for $23,811. And that is Silverado 1500 regular 140, whatever that is, 4-wheel drive.
All
They
right.
seem like pretty good deals.
So,
Well, they are good deals, but we want to get what what we want. I mean, as far as like making sure that it. David said that he could reduce that box, that went into this 150 that we have here. But I have not been able to. Maybe if I call them and talk to them, they may. But I have not been able to see anything anywhere that has an 8-foot bed that is an F-150.
So for the F-150 with four-wheel, so the non-four-wheel drive was 22 grand basically. The four-wheel drive was 25 grand. So you're looking at $3 for four-wheel drive, and this is for the 6.5-foot bed, like you said.
Right.
So for the 8-foot regular cab,
That's an F-250. Yeah.
is 25.5 for the non-four-wheel drive. For the four-wheel drive,
Is that 250 a diesel or gas?
it's a 6.2 liter V8. Yeah, the diesel's gonna bust you way up, I think.
Is that a diesel?
No, this is
Yeah, that's
this
just
is the
regular.
big gas. This is the same
Same,
engine
yeah.
what's in that one. So 28 grand. In my opinion, so here's my thinking, and you guys can, if it sounds sound or if it's if you're thinking something different. My thinking was we could go with a non-four-wheel drive, but there are times we're going to need to haul garbage in the snow. And the problem we run into if we want to haul garbage in the snow with this truck, as it was set up before, if it's got the salter on the back, it makes things very difficult to get in and out of. So to me, $3 grand is worth it to have not only an extra four-wheel drive vehicle that basically becomes a backup. You got redundancy, and I think that's good to have, in my opinion. When you've only got 2 trucks, I think having them be similarly capable gives you some options.
So both can haul garbage?
Both could potentially haul garbage. Both could potentially, do a variety of duties.
Yeah, he
Hauling-
said it would be good if it could have a towing package on it too, so that like if we need to haul the recycling thing over to Robbinsville, the F1, I don't know if the F-150, it should haul it, I don't know. 250 definitely could,
250 definitely.
yeah.
I mean, it really just comes down. I mean, number one, we don't know if we can get a 150 with an 8-foot bed, and to
Right.
me, an 8-foot bed is critical. I think otherwise, David's just going to have more trips to and from the dump.
And 4-wheel drive.
And I think 4-wheel drive makes sense. I wouldn't say it's critical, but I think $3,000 is not a lot of money to pay for that
Mine as well.
redundancy.
So here's my suggestion then, because I've got numbers that we can call and the dealers that we can talk to. So I think though, it would be better for you to do that.
But do they actually have the trucks on the lot?
Yeah.
I think a lot of these basic ones, they have them.
That's
because
how we got this
I don't think they've got a lot
F-350.
of electronics. They don't have a lot of.
They're very basic, they don't
Chips.
have, yeah.
I wouldn't want to spend 20 grand if I wasn't gonna go ahead and get everything that you need. I mean, you don't want to be sitting there one day and go, well, we could have spent $3,000 more and not have a 4-wheel drive.
But
The tow package
when
should
we-
come with it if you're buying a 250. I mean,
yeah, I
that's
probably
just
will with the
it's
250,
not.
but
And that's not an expensive.
if we
package.
call on the F-150, they may say, yeah, we've got one that has an 8-foot bed. So, but I'm thinking, I don't know diddly squat about vehicles and motors and all of that stuff. So I think that would be a good chore for you, Mr. Mayor.
I think what I would probably do. in that
I got all the
situation
numbers and
is I would
stuff.
come down here and
Yeah.
make a phone call with you, and we
Yeah.
can do it together.
Yes,
Is this-
that is my
Is
suggestion.
this the Chevrolet dealership, like in Franklin?
No.
No, these are all, like one's in Charlotte, one's in Raleigh.
This
Yeah.
is through the state. This is through their
State
pricing
fleet
program,
discount.
the fleet discount.
That's how we got this truck
Okay.
out here. We got it
All
for
over.
23, yeah. But we had to go to Raleigh and get it.
Okay.
Was it 23?
I think it was 23 something. But that was 2015, you know.
So anyway, we're looking for a single cab, 4-wheel drive, 8-foot bed with the 6.2 liter V8. You'd be looking at this 28 grand.
It's really not that much.
So to me, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be 30-ish by the time, if you have to add,
Title,
I don't-
taxes.
and I don't know, that doesn't, we don't know whether or not that includes a tow package. I think a tow package is necessary.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a F-150 with an 8-foot bed.
Is there a reason why we want to stick with
yeah,
Ford? though?
they're out there. But why they aren't included on the state's list of trucks, they give you a pretty extensive list of vehicles, and for some reason they didn't include an 8-foot bed F-150. I think they're not really, I don't know. And from what I understand with David, I think the reason he wanted a regular cab as opposed to an extended or a crew was he wants the shortest wheelbase he can possibly get, with the most amount of cargo capacity in the back that he can get. So an 8-foot bed on a regular cab is the shortest
Yeah.
that you can get, and it gives him a better turning radius for having to maneuver and whatnot.
And so we're dead set that it is a Ford and not like a Chevy or anything? I mean, is there any?
I don't think there's any. The only reason I would say Ford makes a little more sense is because we can take it to Bryson City for service versus having to at least go to Murphy.
Yeah,
Bryson's a bit closer than Murphy. So from a service standpoint, we've got a closer Ford dealer.
right.
So, but there's nothing,
I mean, Chevy, it runs a little bit cheaper.
yeah.
And this Chevy in Franklin.
It's a Chevy dealership an hour right there in Alcoa. That's where I
Yeah.
go.
That's true too.
Freeze, oil changes, whatever. But I know when I drive by there, they do have a lot of work trucks on their line and stuff.
Yeah. But for us to qualify through the state fleet, it has to be through North Carolina, of course. Yeah.
I wouldn't get it if it wasn't four-wheel drive. You're wasting your time. You need to be able to tow whatever.
So then, like I said, my suggestion, let's get together maybe next week or something like that, because I really would like to start getting a move on this, and because we are going to be wearing this truck out if we, and like you said, if we are going to be doing like sewer line work, and we need to have something we can pull a jetter with, so we need to get another operable truck. So maybe one day next week, and we can start calling these places and get some more solid information.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't really know what my schedule's gonna be next week till I get with John and we
Tomorrow.
kinda set my schedule.
Well, not tomorrow.
I'll know tomorrow afternoon, so I'll try to get with you after that and we can lay out. I've got some things I gotta do. I gotta tow Tiff's Land Rover somewhere and get a coolant. I think her radiator's leaking.
No.
And I'm hoping it's not gonna do a catastrophic fail on her at some point.
Yeah, that would be.
That'd be great.
So I've got to haul it either to Knoxville or Asheville. I gotta go service my truck because I got 5,000 miles on it in a month. So that's,
Yeah. And it's pulling like a huge amount of weight.
yeah. So anyway,
All right.
any other questions on the garbage truck? No, I think we got a plan of action there too. So the last thing in the discussion items then was John's soon to be vacant seat discussion.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you guys, do we want to approach somebody? We want to just wait? What do you want to do?
I mean, I know Sarah was like a little bit interested. I don't know
Who?
if she still is. Sarah was on the fence, I think.
The only problem that I have with that, or would have with that, would be because you guys are married and then they're together, and what if something happened to the four of you decided all to go out of town, then we would be up the creek.
And then
That is the only issue I have with that,
Gotta be at least 3,
Yeah, because we have to have 3 to have a quorum, so, because I love Sarah, I wouldn't mind at all her if, her being on this board at all. It's just that is the only potential problem that I see with that. But if we think that that is something that is doable still, certainly.
It's an option. It certainly has some potential drawbacks, so we can certainly consider that if she were
Even interested in it.
She's just come on to the foundation. She's getting ready to start back to work here soon, I reckon, huh? So.
Plus she's doing her, what do you call it?
She's sitting right there in the truck and go ask her.
Why didn't she come in?
She went and walked the dog and then she thought this one.
She does her web stuff, or, her, what do you call it?
Oh, the YouTube.
The what?
Oh, no, translating.
No. But
She
she's doing it.
translates, she's now like a supervisor translator. She started doing.
I know, but I was talking about her webcam that she does.
The YouTube?
The vlog. Her
Yeah.
blogging that she
She
does,
just
yeah.
does that at night.
So it's okay.
Who else then?
Well, we still have Katie, you know.
What about, the marketing girl's husband? Didn't he
Jay
say
has expressed interest, but they would have to change their residency to here. You know, but I mean, I don't know that they're against that or anything, but
something? Let's just get Dean.
I'm being quiet. He knows better.
Yeah. Well, hey.
He
Amber
Corbin,
Louise.
I vote Michael.
yeah, we got Amber, Luis also.
Let's
Those
do
are
that.
options.
Who?
Amber. She's not going
Amber
anywhere.
Louise.
Okay.
we've got some options. I mean, I think we've got a few options.
Well,
We can-
do you want me to approach anybody yet, or do you want to you want me to wait and, do we want to wait and see what happens, or, you know, what? Because if I could, and I'd have to tell them, of course, that it would have to switch over to Fontana and be residents of Fontana and get them prepared for just some changes. So if we wait till after John's gone, then, but we've operated with a 4-member board before as well, so it's just up to you guys. I don't really care. We just need some names in the hat and what you want me to do with it.
I didn't realize it was going to be quite so quick with John not being around anymore, or I would say, slow play it for another month or two. I don't know that it's imperative, but
Right.
I'm open to discussion and suggestions.
Maybe just whenever you talk to people, just
Corbin
see if
said he
they're-
did it.
Yeah,
Who did?
Who?
Corbin, he lives on a boat out there.
Michael Corbin, hot
And he
tub.
lives here, so his residency would be
Yeah,
here.
he lives here. He doesn't have any residence.
Well,
What
that's-
kind? I don't know him. What kind of person is he?
He used to work for the hot tub place.
I see a lot of.
I'm not telling you how he feels.
You don't have to.
I
worry about
see
it
a
not
lot
telling
of.
you.
Not telling you how he feels.
I like having something, that someone that's not dependent upon the village, as well. I mean, I always think that's good because, it gives you a more balanced outlook and discussion. If your bread and butter's here, then a lot of times, you got to look after that. So
I would almost look at it like this. If we start asking who might be interested, then we have
I mean, he said he was interested.
a pool of applicants that we can then have a discussion about. I'm saying, if we've got 5 or 6 people that are, have all said, yeah, I'd be interested in doing it.
Bring them all to a meeting.
Well, or then, where we can at least have a discussion about who might be, might best, who we think we might want to have, to bring in possibly and explore.
Yeah.
I know we've talked to Katie in the past. I don't know. We've got some other folks, I guess, that have kind of emerged. Lewis is
Luis,
sorry, is.
is that right? Am I saying that? Luis, yeah.
And I don't know Amber much. I haven't had much conversation with him, but the conversation I've had with Luis.
Well, I do know that both of them, and especially Amber, they're very organized, very, they get stuff done. So, I mean, and of course, that there's a new baby on the way. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So, yeah, they're definitely all about getting extra money,
So
And they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
So I guess my
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
my suggestion would be, if there's somebody who lives, we could have that conversation here in the next month, and when we get back together, we could say, I spoke with so-and-so, it's, it's a
Maybe when
thumbs
you
up
see
or a
them,
thumbs
just
down as
tell
far
them
as their
that
interest.
there's gotta
And then,
space open.
Well, so you guys talked to the guy out in Harbor,
Yeah, we
because
can
I would
talk
never
to-
see him.
we can talk to Michael. I haven't been out in the
just
harbor
asked him,
hardly
that's
any.
what I'm saying. He said he's all for it if he wanted.
Oh, really? You've already talked to him?
Yeah, I talked to him 2 months ago about it, and then I just texted him, and he said, might as well.
Okay.
My only concern about getting too much, we might get harbor-centric, I suppose, as far as our viewpoint. And not 100%.
None of this has anything to do with the harbor. I hadn't heard anything about the harbor since I came to a meeting.
Yeah.
And see, we'll have a conversation later.
He knows things that we don't know, obviously.
That's a double close.
Double closed session.
I knew I not to
Only
play
I
this.
vote
No
yeah,
general
we have a double
statutes there,
closed
for
session.
sure.
Can you mute the camera for 10 seconds?
So anyway, I think if we start just asking who might be interested and we start brainstorming, then when we come to the next meeting, we'll have some ideas and then we can have some discussion and debate.
So you could talk to Amber in the office and just ask her if it would be something she'd be interested in. Just make sure and tell her that, eventually, that they would have to have the residency here,
They
you know.
already do.
Oh, they've already switched it to Fontana? Oh, well, how about that? See, there you go.
I just
I can-
found out that you get a free post office box if you don't have an address. No one told me that until yesterday. If you can't have a mailbox, they have to give you a free one.
Really? Because they told me I'd have to pay for one.
Yeah, when did you get that out? I didn't hear that
He
either.
pays for one too.
No, I got rid of it though. My mail goes to the front desk anyways.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Everybody I know paid for it. Sarah Locke, everybody's paid for their mail.
They gave Michael a free one because there's no way for them to deliver mail to his boat because they don't have a boat service.
Oh, so for
Maybe
people in
it's
the
just
harbor.
yeah.
You don't get mail delivered here, do you?
No,
Well, like they
no
technically won't
problem.
deliver to Lacey's house either.
I just
So-
had mine sent to my mom's.
Right.
Oh,
But I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we run into that problem with the church and having to get verification and it's not physical address. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get all my stuff at the front desk.
I just put 45
I'm gonna
Unit
do
Dam
that.
Road on myself
Yeah.
and nobody ever says nothing.
and it gets delivered
Where?
to the marina or
Right.
I forward everything to the front desk.
Yeah, I send all my stuff up there that I order through here to the front desk too, because that's,
Like my hot water heater that didn't show up.
yeah, that's just the easiest place to get it from, you know?
It was supposed to be today. My hot water heater froze to death Saturday. Then I about
Froze to
Then
death.
I about
The hot water heater.
I about burnt the house down once I got it going again and shot fire everywhere. So I've been working on a hot water heater since.
Yeah, that's not good on a
Nice.
boat. Fire and boats don't
Well,
go good.
as soon as the fire started shooting everywhere, I was like, okay, get the hose. And then I thought, the hose is frozen solid. That's not going to work.
Hauling buckets.
Yeah.
Long story, man. I'll get back with you on that too.
That's cool. All right, so we'll start asking around about the soon-to-be vacancy there. All right, I guess then I'll need a motion to go into closed session.
You're on roll.
Well, so the action items, let's just go over those real quick.
okay.
So, the approval of the jetter equipment is, we're tabling that until we find out further discussion with Troy on all of these, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think when we come out of closed session, we'll take some action if that's indeed what we're gonna do on anything.
All right.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
To discuss personal?
Uh,
To discuss personal.
To
All in favor?
discuss personnel.
Aye.
All right, thanks, Ted.
Motion to come out of closed session.
Thanks, John, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're back out of closed session. We've got a few action items we need to bounce through. I guess on the personnel side of things, we have agreed to, we've got proposals for David and Dennis to receive raises on the trash pickup side of things, so I'm entertaining motions on this. Go on, speak your voice.
So it would be like, if we, we're giving David a $2 an hour raise to $14. Somebody make a motion to put him at $14 an hour.
I make a motion to raise David up at $14 an hour.
Thank you, Lacey. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And there was,
Make a motion for Dennis
make a motion for Dennis
for
for,
$12 an hour.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, okay, and there was also some discussion about Zell and her position, a raise and a bonus, entertaining motions there.
Come on, Brandon, speak up.
How much did you give Bill a raise?
Okay, never mind.
The enthusiasm is just
I
dripping.
know, it's like,
How much?
It was 1,000, but that's 44 cents an hour is your raise.
that's what,
Just so
That's
you know,
true.
that's 44 cents an hour is
44
what you
cents an
want
hour.
on your raise,
okay.
But you also have a bonus.
which is
And a
44
bonus.
cents.
Oh, with the
So
bonus?
88 cents is your,
There you go.
your only
88
raise is
cents.
44 cents. So if you're cool with that, then I'll do it. You ready? If everybody else got $2, I'm gonna stop right there, guys. I'm gonna give Zell her raise of $1,000 on her salary
And,
And,
and her $1,000 bonus.
all in favor?
bye.
All right.
And I throw this one for Brandon too.
Throwing some money around here. Okie dokie. That was it with regard to personnel. We had another action item with regard to the pipe inspection camera. I think we wanted to have some discussion about that, but we want to be able to move on that more quickly. So we were looking at a motion to cap that at 1,000. So entertaining a motion on that on the floor.
I'll make a motion to cap that at 1,000.
So making a motion to purchase a camera not to exceed
Purchase
1,000.
the camera, not to exceed 1,000.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. And the other two action items that we had, the approval of the jetter equipment, we're going to let that ride for the moment because that's not an immediate need and we need to do some more investigation. And the pipe smoker is something similar. We won't quite have the personnel to approve to implement that just yet, so it's not an immediate need as well. So that'll both be on the agenda for next month, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't have any other action items that I'm aware of. Does anybody else have any action items I'm forgetting? Okay, otherwise, it looks like we are pretty much done for today. The next meeting is going to be Wednesday, April 20th, which is 2022, which is time's marching along
So that'll be on 420, is it?
Yeah.
per day.
Whose birthday?
I like how he glanced at me after I was.
Maybe we should go and plant a tree somewhere that day.
Yes.
Yes, that's what
Yes.
420 is for, is planting trees. That's exactly what it's
And
for.
on
Maybe we should plant a fruit tree somewhere on property.
And on
That'd be good.
420, we'll circle around to this pipe smoker again.
We'll table that till next week.
Ah, okay.
Oh, goodness.
And on that note, we're going to
We're going to cut this live stream off. Yeah.